Okay, what is going on? If you are here, you're here because you're a busy mom who wants to tone up, get your energy back, fit back in your clothes again, feel like yourself again without the all or nothing BS, without eating separate from your family, without gourmet meals, without the extremes that I'm sure you've done before and I'm sure have quote unquote worked temporarily, but not for the long haul. And so I'm excited to show you how to do this on Autopilot and make it as easy as possible. And what I'm about to run through is the exact approach I've used with over 300 moms in the Strong Mom Collective to tone up and get in the best shape of their life without the extremes in less than 2 hours per week and do it in a way that they can actually do it for the long haul, which is sustainably and without ruining the rest of your life so that it actually makes the rest of your life better, not worse. So whether it's, 5, 10 pounds or 70 plus, we have helped women do this in a very efficient way that have tried everything else out there. So let's dive in. Obviously, I don't need to tell you that it's harder as a mom. You need something that isn't going to take up all your time. You need something that's flexible. Like, we're not going to be able to plan for everything and things are going to come up. We have to be able to pivot. We have to be able to make changes on the fly. It's just needs to withstand the chaos that comes alongside parenting. It needs to be simple. We're not going to be cooking these gourmet meals. I mean, great if we can, but realistically, most of the time, we're not going to be able to do that all the time. It needs to be filling. This is a huge one. Like, you probably have seen out there, oh, calories, 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 calorie deficit. That's all you need, calorie deficit. And uh, good luck sticking with this if you're not actually fueling yourself and feeling energized for your day, for your work, for your kids. So making sure it actually fills you up and doesn't leave you starving, it needs to be realistic. Let's not, be optimal and just get back right into that all or nothing trap. Let's be realistic about what's actually going to be something we can stick to for the next 60 years, not the next 60 days. And then repeatable. A lot of people are under the impression they need to be reinventing the wheel every single day, but the reality is, if we can find you 10 go-to meals to make and have with your family and make predictably and have it around and be able to like make it on the fly really quickly, you're going to be in a great spot. And then enjoying yourself with the ice cream, like those things are going to happen and that's totally okay. And you can make progress while still enjoying those things with your kids, with your family. And all of my clients have done that. And then lastly, we need those backup oh shit options, the audibles, the snacks to have on hand. Like, yes, ideally we're eating real meals, but like, let's be realistic. That's not always going to be possible. So having these backups is going to be a game changer. So what we're going to go through here is the nutrition mindset that you need to have to actually make this sustainable. We're going to go over the key nutrients I want you paying attention to for most of your meals. We're going to go over calories, macros. Does that really, really matter? And then we're going to go over a recommended meal structure. And then I'm going to give you a ton of go-to recipes and meals for eating on the go and just options. And then we're going to go over mindful eating. And lastly, I'll just tell you a little bit about what we do at the Strong Mom Collective, because this is you are who we help. We help busy moms get in the best shape of their life and actually stay there in a way that doesn't take away from their work, their family, and in a way that makes the rest of their life better, not worse. So let's dive in. And if you haven't, I do have a workout guide for you. So this is perfect to pair with that. And just hit my channel. You'll find it on here. Let's get started with the mindset. Most of you, and I resonate with this, I was stuck in this for the longest time, are stuck in the all or nothing trap. You've maybe cut out carbs. You've done these extremes. You've done the keto. You've done the 1,200 calorie diets. You've crushed those things, but stress comes up and life comes up. And quite honestly, a lot of those just aren't realistic for anyone to follow, no matter how much willpower or discipline you have. And then so you think like, oh, that thing worked, quote unquote. It worked. I just couldn't stick with it, or I just need to stick with it. And then you internalize that as you being the problem. And this kind of spirals into a shame and guilt cycle of like, oh, I had the solution. I just can't stick with the solution. But that's not the case. These unrealistic, unsustainable, all or nothing plans are the problem, not you. They are plans that don't reflect your life, your work, your kids, your schedule, the chaos that is being a mother. And they expect you to be perfect, and they set you up in a way where if you aren't perfect, then you're being bad. And then you just get into this all or nothing trap. And we need an approach that accepts you will not be perfect, and that is okay. And that is normal. And so the frame I want you to take here is going on offense instead of going on defense. So like I said with the calories, everyone's so focused on less, less, less. What shouldn't I have? What is bad to eat? What do I need to cut back on? But most of you moms out there that I talk to just aren't fueling yourself with the right things first. So it doesn't matter how much you want it or how much willpower you try to force, you're going to be starving if you go at it that way. And not only that, you're going to reinforce this less mentality and this restriction and scarcity, and it's going to be miserable. So we go on offense first. We do more before less. We fuel you in your busy life with more of the right foods before we ever worry about having less of anything else. And this is going to turn your mindset around. It's going to be more abundance. It's going to be looking at what you can have. It's not this constant negativity of like, oh, not that, not that. We're just filling your life with more of what's going to help you feel good and really shift you from this like should or have to or bad mentality to I can. I do this because I'm fueling myself because I love how it makes me feel, not because I want to avoid how I'll feel if I'm quote unquote bad. On top of that, it's going to make it 10 times easier to limit the foods that may not align with your goals later because you're going to be so full. And just as a warning, this does not mean I'm going to tell you not to have anything. I want you and I want every single mom I work with to be able to have the damn ice cream. Like, eat the ice cream, eat the pizza every once in a while with your kids. We don't want to be obsessing, and it can be done. I know like it might not feel that way, but it absolutely can. So let's get on with it. What are our key nutrients? Number one is protein. I'm sure you're aware of this. If you're not, it's going to keep you full. It's going to support lean muscle mass, which means maximizing fat loss. And don't let that muscle word scare you. It's not going to make you bulky. It's going to literally just preserve your lean mass so that all the weight loss you get comes from fat loss. And even if you don't have any weight to lose, if you implement this alongside the workouts, click my channel for those. It's going to allow you to lose some fat and build some muscle at the same time, which is going to allow you to get that toned look you want. Most moms I talk to are not getting nearly enough. So we want to get a bare minimum of 100 grams. Most of you right around 120 is going to be where you want to be at. But to be sure, you can just multiply your ideal body weight by 0.8. If you're wanting to get to 150 pounds, that means we want to be at 120 grams a day. Now, sources here. And I'm just listing these first, but we're going to go over recipes and things like that. Lean meat, fish, chicken, beef, pork, eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, beef jerky, protein bars, and protein shakes. I have an asterisk here. This is going to be a lot at first, and that's okay. And I would rather have you hit this number with shakes, with all shakes, if that's all you can do, than not hit that number at all. Over time, the more we can get from these sources, the more full you're going to be, the easier it is to manage your food overall. But I still want you to hit that number regardless because it's so important and it's going to honestly help even if it is in shakes. But you'll just get a little bit more full from these whole food sources. So that's the protein portion. Next is fiber. Another one people are chronically undereating in our Western diet. This keeps you full. It improves your gut health. It ensures you're eating solid, nutritious whole foods, gets you those key micronutrients to support your hormones. It decreases cholesterol. And honestly, fiber just improves about everything health-wise, but you have no idea how full you'll be from just enough protein and fiber alone. I'm sure you're starting to see like, good luck tracking your calories and cutting them. If you don't have enough protein and fiber, you're just going to be starving. It's not going to keep you full whatsoever. And so many of the women I work with, we end up just adding these two things and they end up eating way less calories anyways, just because they're full. And that way they're not starving. We're going to aim for 25 grams a day here. And I mean 25 grams from real food. So you're going to see like a Quest bar or a carb balanced tortilla that have somehow 20 grams of fiber in them. We want this from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, things like that, not those things. Honestly, I don't know how they get that in there, but it ends up just like constipating people and it's not fun. Also, titrate up. So if you're at 5 grams a day, don't jump straight to 25. Might not have a good time. So let's go slowly and just work it up slowly. But anyways, fruits and veggies, guys, obviously, but like, let's talk about what's realistic here. So frozen berries, you're going to see these in a lot of the recipes I share below. Blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, game changer, very high fiber, also like delicious, very low calorie, and you can eat a lot of them. Really helpful if you have a sweet tooth or something like that. But apples, oranges, chia seeds, flax seeds, spinach, kale, potatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, bell pepper, all the things. But these are I'm going to talk more about this in a little bit with the recipes because I love having my frozen berries around. It's a game changer. Let's move on. Number one, like if I could change calorie or nutrition labels, I would get rid of the fats and carb numbers and replace it with just protein and fiber because those are the most important alongside your calories, obviously. I want to highlight a couple things here. Calories do matter, but it doesn't matter if you're able to like create a calorie deficit short term if you're not doing it the right way and you feel like shit and you're not able to stick with it. The protein in the strength training is going to change your body's shape. Total calories eaten, regardless of what makes up those calories, and your movement in the day, I recommend tracking steps instead of trying to do all cardio. Cardio is great for heart and brain health, but not that great for calorie burn. And, you're a mom, you can get steps at soccer practice, around the house, at work, in between meetings. You can piece it together. It's more sustainable. It doesn't make you as hungry as high intensity stuff, but that's another conversation. Total calories eaten and your steps will change how much you weigh. This is another one for moms and the women out there. You've been inundated that carbs are bad. If we control your total calories, protein, and fiber, it does not matter how many carbs you're eating. It does not matter how much fat you're eating. You can swing those two back and forth all you want, and your results really won't change. And so that's why I recommend the combination that works best for you. Now, some people you might see will be like, yeah, but women need enough fat to support their hormones, or you need enough carbs to support your body composition change. You would have to really deliberately try to go low fat or low carb to get to the levels where that's even going to be remotely an issue. The juice just isn't worth the squeeze. Pay attention to total calories, protein, and fiber if you're going to be tracking food, and pay attention to it total in the day. And that's going to be 99% of the way there. Yes, I'm going to talk through food timing. It can help. But when it comes to results, big picture, that's what makes the most sense. Yes, it's true that we need a calorie deficit to lose weight. But what makes up those calories, A, is what's going to determine how full you are and how you feel. And then B, what level that's at and where your metabolism is going to determine how low you need those calories to get. So once again, another huge mistake I see moms making is that they're told calorie deficit, so they cut their calories, but they don't pay attention to building up their metabolism. And so all of a sudden it's like, in order to keep seeing weight loss, they just need to cut the calories lower and lower and lower. And if we take this approach I'm walking you through right now, this more before less, by strength training with those workouts, adding the protein, adding the fiber, all of a sudden adding some steps, I'd recommend 8,000 a day to get started. And then just 2 or 3 workouts per week for 30 minutes. Not too crazy here. All of a sudden, your calories out are going to be way higher, and you don't have to cut those calories in very much, if at all. And you can see that weight loss and that toning go on. And it's just a lot easier to stick to. You're not like starving yourself, racing to the bottom. I'm not going to go into depth about the calorie adjustments here because honestly, that's like a 12-hour nutrition course. All the nuance of how we adjust and things like that. I'm sure you've seen calculators out there and things like that. But the most important thing is just responding and adjusting to what your body is doing. So that's what we do for our clients. We adjust it every week according to your body, your biofeedback, how things are going. If you are interested in working with us, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. If you are interested in working with us, just say Strong Mom and we can talk about your goals and see if it even be the right thing for you. But yeah, anyways, calories do matter, but focusing on all this first is going to allow you to get a lot of progress without ever having to be like, oh, I'm cutting 500 calories a day. And a lot of our clients, we see that in the first phase we're working with them. We're supporting them with all the things I just went through. And all of a sudden they're dropping great weight and they never really even cut their calories because they're just so full and fueling themselves that they feel good. I'm going to stop rambling there. Carb sources, potatoes, fresh food, vegetables, fresh fruit, sweet potatoes, quinoa, oats, rice, corn, dairy, whole grains, beans, legumes, granola. Fat sources, olive oil, almonds, cashews, walnuts, seeds, avocado, salmon, trout, eggs, dairy, nut butters, and avocado oil. This is going to make a little bit more sense here as I move on, but real quick, I want to talk through a recommended meal structure. So I already mentioned your total for the day is what matters. So I don't want you to worry about fasting. Fasting can help because it lowers your calories. That's why people see success with it. But most of you moms are not getting enough protein already. And if you start fasting, it's going to be even harder to get it in. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would actually recommend a big solid breakfast with a lot of protein and a lot of fiber. It's going to fuel you for the day. It's going to provide way more flexibility for later on in your day, just in case shit hits the fan and you need to adjust. And it's just going to get you started on a great note and help you make better decisions the rest of the day. I would recommend 3 solid meals around consistent times as much as you can. I get it's not always going to be doable, but let's say 120 grams of protein, 25 grams of fiber. That might be 3 meals of 40 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber with no snacks. Nothing wrong with that. It might be 3 meals of 30 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber and 1 protein snack or shake. And I'm going to walk through these options. There is nothing magic about 3. It's what I've found working with hundreds of women to be kind of that sweet spot. Some people maybe 4, some people maybe 2, but I usually lean towards solid 3 meals. Like 2 can end up being a lot of food at once. And likewise, if we get into the 5, 6 range, all of a sudden it's like your meals are like 200 calories. And it's like, that's no fun either. 200, 300 calories. Like 3 is usually solid. If you're eating 1,600 calories, you're getting over 500 calories a meal. And it's enough to actually like get you full, right? Let's get to the recipes. Power plate methods. In general, why I walked you through these carb sources, these fat sources, and the protein and fiber sources is this is the playbook for rotating meals in with the family throughout the week. Essentially, all you're doing is rotating proteins, rotating carbs, and rotating veggies, filling half of your plate with veggies, a quarter plate with carbs, and a quarter plate with protein. This is an excellent framework that you can use with the family to rotate through things. And I'm going to get to specific recipes here in a second, but this is great. You can go to it over and over and over, never get bored, use whatever seasonings or sauces you want, throw in a slow cooker, air fryer for these different things, use the oven, use the stovetop. Very, very easy. You can't go wrong doing this. And this is also something that you can implement when you're out to eat. Like just thinking this way, where am I getting my protein? Where am I getting my veggies? Where am I getting my fiber? You're going to be in a great spot. That being said, let's also be realistic that we might not always be able to cook a well-rounded dinner for the family, right? Freezer and air fryer friendly. This is huge because one thing I've seen with a lot of my clients and myself too is like we stock up on all these veggies and these healthy foods and then they go bad and it's like double whammy. I'm throwing this away. I didn't eat it. Like terrible, right? So if we can load up the freezer with go-to options that we can just always have on deck, game changer. So one of my favorites is seasoned salmon from Costco. It is already seasoned. You have it in the freezer. You throw it in the oven or the air fryer. It's ready to go in like 30 minutes. Delicious. Fire roasted veggies from Costco. This is a blend of a bunch of veggies. There's like asparagus, bell peppers, zucchini, a couple other things. Also frozen. Throw it in the air fryer. Already seasoned. Delicious. Just bare chicken nuggets or lightly breaded chicken nuggets from Costco. These are really good. Once again, something to have around. High protein, a little higher fat and carb because they're lightly breaded, but totally okay. I already mentioned the frozen berries. So throwing it in Greek yogurt and some honey at the end of the night is a great way to get more fiber and protein and fill you up, satisfy that sweet tooth without blowing the bank on calories is great. Tyson rotisserie chicken strips. These are not breaded, but frozen, I think fully cooked. Super easy. Maybe have some microwavable rice or like I think it's called Seeds of Change. They're higher fiber rice blends that you can microwave. Moving on, smoothies. So I start most mornings with this, and I'll do almond milk, protein powder, spinach, and I throw the spinach in the freezer so that it doesn't go bad. Macadamia nuts, and then chia or flax seeds and the frozen berry blend. I'm getting like 65 grams of protein and 20 grams of fiber to start my day. That way, no matter what we have for dinner, I'm hitting those protein targets after lunch and fiber targets after lunch, and I'm just in a way better spot to be flexible later. So this is a fantastic option, and you can keep, if you cut down the macadamia nuts, you could keep the calories a lot lower. Overnight oats, I use a brand called Oats Overnight. That was backwards. But this is basically something you put together and put in the fridge, mixed with milk. 2 of those packets plus a cup of non-fat milk gets me 53 grams of protein, ton of fiber. Greek yogurt. So 2 ways to do this. You can have the Oikos 000 individual cups around, which don't go bad very quickly at all, and just eat it. Or if you have a little more time, get the tub, the bigger tub, honey, frozen berries, maybe some hemp seeds for some fiber and healthy fats. I already mentioned the salmon from Costco. You can do it with rice. You can add the fire roasted veggies in the air fryer. Just bare chicken nuggets, I mentioned that. Pulled chicken and rice. So these are really easy. You can get the pulled rotisserie chicken at Costco, or most grocery stores have like cooked pulled chicken. All I'll do here is microwave or make some rice and then reheat this in a pan with some olive oil. Can add some like spinach and bell peppers for veggies if you have the time. If not, it can literally be like microwave rice, heat up the chicken, ready to go. Another one here that you could do is there are like chicken skewers at Costco that are great, and those are pre-cooked and ready to roll to have in the fridge. Turkey or chicken meatball pasta, lentil and chickpea pasta that are higher protein, higher fiber than regular pasta, which you can barely tell the difference. Frozen turkey or chicken meatballs or turkey or chicken sausages, or even like ground chicken, turkey beef in a pan. Super easy. And then red sauce. And it's like super high protein, super high fiber. You can't even tell the difference really. And then tacos. So one thing with like something like this or the power plate method, get used to just cook double, triple, quadruple, and just have that for lunch the next day. Like so easy. You're already making it and then just reheat it, right? But tacos is a great one for that. This is one you can scale up or down. Like short on time, brown the meat, season it, grab some tortillas and some cheese, ready to go. And then if you want, like, add some beans, do some peppers, add some rice, do the bowls, whatever it may be. Taco meat is obviously great reused for like taco eggs or just throwing it on a salad, whatever. Let's not be crazy, right? Eggs, eggs in a pan, Dave's Killer Bread, toast in the toaster, maybe add some egg whites to add a little bit of extra protein without adding a ton of calories. Add some like peppers, jalapenos, spinach, tomatoes for vegetables if you have the time. But once again, another one you can keep around, keep in the fridge. Eggs don't go bad for they last a decent amount of time. These are all supposed to be things that you can be keeping in the freezer, in the fridge without it going bad, and just be able to go to on autopilot. If you haven't heard of the Ninja Creamy, It's an ice cream maker and it's a game changer, and you can make high protein ice cream. So feel free to ask me my favorite recipes. I follow the flexible dieting lifestyle on Instagram for a lot of those, but game changer. You get a whole pint of ice cream for like 300 calories or less, like 30 grams of protein. It's fun. You can do it with the kids, make different flavors. You can do mix-ins, kind of like a blizzard. It's amazing. And then eating out. Once again, let's be realistic. Chipotle. I'm doing a chicken or a steak bowl, right? You can add the veggies, you can add the sauce. Sweet Green or Modern Market for bowls. Chinese food, I'll do like a Kung Pao chicken with veggies and hot and sour soup. Chick-fil-A is actually very, very easy to make work with the grilled nuggets. Straight protein. Get some fruit on the side and even maybe a small or medium fry. And then from there, kid-friendly stuff. There's usually, out of everything you could make, a higher protein, higher fiber version that you can make with the kids to just like limit the damage a little bit. So Kodiak pancake and waffle mix, higher protein, higher fiber pancakes and waffles. Perfect. Magic Spoon cereal. Bonza, I already mentioned. Bonza makes a mac and cheese that's actually pretty damn good. Higher fiber, higher protein. Sometimes we'll make that and make taco meat and mix it together for like a hamburger helper style thing. And then, of course, like, let's get into the backups, right? So shakes. Let's prepare for chaos and have these around. Yes, it'd be great if we can be making meals and eating whole foods most of the time, but let's just be realistic. Sometimes you need to grab a protein bar or a protein shake and a banana or an apple, and that's okay. Like, let's have those around and abundant and available so that we have the option. I'd recommend Fairlife shakes. You can get those at Costco, or Nuri shakes, Lean Body shakes. These are all pre-mixed, like ready to drink protein shakes. And then for powder, anything can work. Ascent or Legion are great brands. Protein coffee. So this is a new one for us. Just Ingredients is the brand name. They've got like vanilla, snickerdoodle, salted caramel. And what we've been doing is microwaving or heating up a cup of non-fat Fairlife milk. So that's got like 13 grams of protein. Mixing in a scoop of this protein powder and then mixing that with a cup of coffee or espresso. It's amazing. 35 grams of protein for like less than 250 calories. So good. I wouldn't, if you can, be eating like some substance for breakfast too, but like, once again, great way to sneak in an extra 35 grams of protein, and it's delicious. The salted caramel is my favorite. And then bars, once again, not ideal, but let's have them around, have them available to grab. David bars by far are like it's only like 150 calories for like 29 grams of protein. Let's not overcomplicate it. I'm not a gourmet chef, and these are the things I eat on repeat year round. And too easy. Let's be real and move on and say pizza's going to happen. Fast food is going to happen. Nothing wrong with that. Enjoy it. All I'll say is a few tiny tips. Slow down. Drink a lot more water. Drink water before, drink water during, in between bites. If you're out to pizza, get a side salad and add some chicken. Get some of that protein, a little bit of fiber. It might just slow you down a little bit, but not in any way saying that these things are bad. And I think it's annoying when people are like saying you need willpower and they never eat pizza. Like, come on, you don't like pizza? Everybody likes pizza. So enjoy yourself. If you're eating, like, over time, find your go-to rotation of 5 to 10 of these meals like this that will look generally like these and be creating these power plates, and you can enjoy the pizza and the ice cream and do it in moderation. And since you won't be starving yourself, you're not going to like way overeat on those things because you're more full from the fiber and the protein. Lifting weights, moving your body, your metabolism is going to be cooking so that your resting metabolic rate is higher and you can eat more calories overall without gaining weight. And that's the name of the game. I hope this is helpful. Let me know below if you have any questions. And if you're interested, this is what we do. Of course, I mentioned earlier, it still is about calories. Like, I just want you to get some quick wins here by getting your protein, getting your fiber, doing all these things, but it still does take management of those calories as time goes on, adjusting that according to your body. So this is truly what we do in the Strong Mom Collective. It's one-on-one coaching, check-ins, adjustments, and implementation each week. Customized workouts, nutrition, targets for your schedule, your body. and adjust it along the way. Like that's the biggest thing here. A lot of people I talk to think it's about the information, right? And you don't need information. Everybody has way too much information. Like if anything, it's about taking away information and telling you what actually matters and getting you to focus on those core things. But it's really about actually sticking with this, actually planning together, talking through things as they come up, because things are going to come up. And if we end up just bailing and stopping at that point, that's what holds us back for years or decades, unfortunately, for some moms. If you're interested, just DM me Strong Mom on Instagram and we'll just chat. We'll see if it even makes sense. But either way, if you're thinking that this is on you and like something's wrong, that's the last thing I want for you, because it is doable. And we've done it with a lot of moms in a much simpler way than they could have ever imagined. And it's just incredible to see their mindsets transform through that process and switch to the abundance that this journey can bring. With that being said, you can also subscribe to me here on YouTube for other great stuff. Like I said, check out those workouts. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace out.